Good morning. This is more deal. First, let a word of the day. I'm not sure if you can hear me, but keep getting these notices that your speaker may not be working correctly. But parisology is our word of the day. The use of equivocal or ambiguous words. The furniture assembly was complicated by confusing diagrams and parisology in the instructions. So that's our word of the day. Let's move on. Let's share our screen. Go to the S&P 500 map. It's kind of spinning here, but we got a little bit of a bounce. Microsoft is up slightly. Google can, but it is bouncing. NVIDIA is up. All the semiconductors seem to be moving up today. Financials are up. Tesla continues down. We closed out of our last of the Tesla trade. And consumer defense is up. Healthcare is up. Most things are up today. Energy is up. Industrials, utilities, basic materials. So that's a story there. Stop the share here. And then we're going to go to our screen. If you don't think you have enough time to win back your losses on a downturn, we highly recommend an annuity. An annuity, you can see over here, beats index investing by about 5% per year, and goes up the step, will not come down, goes up another step, will not come down, and you will not lose money in this type of an annuity. If you want to learn more, feel free to reach out to us at our comment section on Mornings with Michael. And that's all we got there. And let's go to our screens. So this is Airbnb. It broke above 160. We add a little bit to our positions on Airbnb. So let's take a look at our ETFs. What's moving today? Financials, they're bouncing off of their 10-day moving average. Energy, got a gap up on energy today. Gap up in pricing on oil. The triple hedge that we got is back in the money today, as it's about pops above 30. I was looking at ExxonMobil earlier. It is bouncing above the 200-day moving average. Got a long kind of a cup formation forming here, and it's pretty good volume today. I'll move this down a little bit so we. Well, that was actually yesterday, pretty good volume. We'll have to wait and see how it kind of moves out to today. Communications, up slightly, being dragged down by Google. Real estate is up. Utilities kind of bounces above the 200-day. Found this company by accident in pipeline energy, natural gas distribution. Just look at all these moves up. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. So that's 16 out of 22 days up. So and then in the financials, we did not look at this earlier, but similarly, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 out of 15, 11 out of 16 days up. Volume's been pretty good as well. So this is, looks like institutional people, managers are moving in to that, but let's continue. Infrastructure bounces today. Biotech is getting a little bit of a bounce. And we saw semiconductors were up. Airlines getting a little bit of a bounce. Leisure activity gapping up. Healthcare sector making a big move. Consumer staples moving above 75 here. Metals and mining getting a little bit of a bounce. Home builders and our building materials. And look at Fang Yu, triple hedged on the biggest names in the market. So it's up about 2.6% today. So that's the story there. Let's see what's in the news today. So let's see what we got. World news. The yen rallied and reports of at least one Bank of Japan policymaker will say it's appropriate to end negative rates at the March meeting. So that's what we got there. Now let's go to our sector news breakdown. Nordstrom, Q4 adjusted EPS 96 cents versus 88 cents. Wow, they're falling rapidly on that news. Ross Stores approves $2.1 billion stock buyback, boosts quarterly dividend. 10% quarterly EPS came at 182 versus 165, initially sold off, and it is bouncing now. ChargePoint, Q4 EPS lost 23 cents versus estimate of 13 cents, falling just under 3%. Couchbase, Q4 adjusted operating income $4.1 million loss versus estimate of $7.75 million loss. Tried to move higher and then sold off. I believe this is a San Francisco-based company. Oddity Tech, Q4 adjusted EPS 17 cents versus 12 cents, gap down, and now is fighting to stay above the 50-day moving average. Thor Industries, Q2 revenue, 2.21 billion below consensus of 2.27, and they got a pretty big haircut, similar to the one I got yesterday. I'm sporting it today. So down 74%. On earnings, energy, industrials and materials, Cadre Holdings. Q4 EPS 25 cents versus 18 cents. Tried to move higher and pulled back. Old Dominion Freight Line downgraded to neutral at Bank of America, citing lagging volume growth. And they're bouncing on that news. Pretty amazing. There's our little alarm clock. Viper Energy, 11.5 shares spot secondary, priced at $35. Nobody likes to be diluted, so it is moving down about a little over 7%. Bit Digital reports February production 128.7 Bitcoin, down 11.7% from the prior month. Active hash rate was approximately 2.73 as of February 29th. And their stock is up slightly today, up 1.5%. Meridian Link, Q4 adjusted EPS loss 29 cents versus estimate of 7 cents. And of course, they're selling off. They continue their downtrend, down 1.83%. Caro Therapeutics, 11 million share secondary priced at $29, and they're selling off a little over 5%. Bridge Bio, $8.6 million share secondary priced at $29, and they're up slightly, 1.82%. Cirrus, Q4 adjusted EPS 1 cent loss versus estimate of 2 cent loss, and they're roaring. This is penny stock that's just taken off, up 26%. Dexcom announced that the FDA has cleared Stelo by Dexcom, the first glucose biosensor that doesn't require a prescription. And Dexcom is kind of surging, a little over 8% today on that news. Rigel Pharmaceuticals, Q4 EPS 0 versus estimate of 3 cent loss, and they're moving up on this. This is also another penny stock, up over 8%. Technology, media, and call and telecom. CrowdStrike, Q4 EPS 95 cents versus 83 cents. They beat and they jumped up. They were up about 24%, I believe, after hours yesterday, but that doesn't always translate. They moved up, and it's near its low right now. Box, Q4 adjusted EPS 42 cents versus 38 cents, and they're moving higher. Got a pretty nice boost, up 8.24%. Hashi Corporation, Q4 EPS 5 cents versus 1 cent, and they're moving up close to 11%. JD announces the new $3 billion share repurchase plan. Company in China up over 17% on this news. UMA, Q4 adjusted EPS 13 cents versus 12 cents, and their stock is a little slow to come up here, and it's selling off over 8%. People were expecting much more from UMA. And Entravision, Q4 EPS 21 cent loss versus 7% profit, and of course, it falls dramatically. penny stock gets even cheaper. 51% loss. So that's kind of the story right there. Now we go to our daily checkup. MedPace Holdings. These little dots up here are called ants, and it's called, it's showing institutional buying volume up here, and MedPace Holdings is breaking out of its pretty tight consolidation here. As you can see, it's kind of breaking out of this rectangle box area. Make My Trip, Indian travel company, is up above 60 again. We'll see if it can continue up. And that is the story there. Fidelis Insurance Holdings, big move up over 5%. Their earnings came in at 86%. It gapped up, and now it's trying to move higher. Taiwan Semiconductor moved higher, above 140, up 4.62%. Qualcomm, we took off our shorts on this one. We had a 165 trade on, so we took off the 165s and we're letting the rest run. Got a big sell-off in GitLab on their earnings, which were up 600%. People were looking for more, and now it's moving up a little bit today. NetApp continues its strong move. It did undercut here, but now it is moving back up. CrowdStrike, we just looked in the news. Sentinel-1 in the same kind of industry as CrowdStrike, is cyber attack prevention. Palantir got a new contract for the Army, so they're moving up a little over 10% on that news. And finally, MicroStrategy, they had a big note offering, I guess, to buy some more cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and now they're moving up big time as Bitcoin surges again today. So that's kind of the story in that sector. Let's look at what's up 5% on 100% increase in volume. Got some of the same, got 32 issues. We're not going to go through all of these. We'll just look at a select few. Albemarle, which is big in lithium, up about 7% after a big sell-off yesterday. Alliant gapping up 16%, up 28%. Got American Public Education. A big move there, up 34% on earnings of 283%. Apogee Therapeutics, it continues its strong move. AeroVironment, maker of drones, etc. Their earnings are up 91% yesterday, and it continues a strong move. Fox, we saw in the news. Seco Environmental, up a little over 8%. CareMax, we got CrowdStrike again. Contango Ore. Then we'll just kind of scan through some of these. Hewlett Packard, quantum computing company, just keeps on rising. Mobileye Global, had a big sell-off on their, and they're trying to fight back. Meta wound, big move up. Israeli biopharmaceutical company, treatment of severe burns, and just kind of, we got Vail, Inari Medical. This is an interesting company. They really hit the skids on their earnings, but they're trying to fight back. This is a company that can go in and pull out blood clots in your veins. And Skyworks Solutions is moving up a little over 6%. And finally, what's up 10% on 200% volume? We got 7 items. European Wax Center moving up 15%, 502% increase in volume. Here we have Hashi again, JD again, Mobileye, Trade Health. Wow, up 125%. Web-based purchasing platform for pharmacists and drug manufacturers. Wow. And Palantir is the last one. So let's take a look what we were doing today. We got rid of Duolingo. Why did we get rid of Duolingo? Because it fell under the gap. It's a rule to get rid of anything that falls below the gap. It's filling the gap right now. Possibility it could fill the gap and then move back up. It has bounced off of its 50-day moving average. We got rid of some of AMD. Just taking some profits, raising some cash for other issues, but AMD did pull back a little bit and now it's moving back up. And so it's going to make us wait for a little bit. So the other, I'm going to take a look at Lyft. Lyft lifted off again. Got a nice boost in from one of the analysts. So we did short around 18. So we bought 2 of those shorts. We had 4 on at 18 covered call. So we're just going to kind of watch it and see if it has a little bit of a pullback here and take off the other 2. Analysts had a strong feeling it was going to go to possibly 22. So we'll continue to watch that. Some of the other things of note, just take a look at the rest of our portfolio. We haven't done anything with Kava, tried to move higher and pulled back. There's a number of issues that have done that today. Take a look at Elf Beauty. You still have the $250 covered call on Elf Beauty. It's moving up a little over 5% today. Had a 2-day pullback, bounced off the 10-day moving average. Super micro, looks like it's breaking out here. Look at all these ants, institutional buying over here. You can see it's broken out of the high there. MicroStrategy. We looked at that in the news and kind of bouncing up there near its high for the day. Meta, we bought right before earnings with a call option, and then bought periodically over the days. Actually bought 50 right here on after hours. We bought 50 when they reported their earnings, and then we've been buying periodically as kind of moves up. It had moved over 500 and pulled back, bounced off the 10-day moving average. Mr. Softy or Microsoft, a little bounce off of its 50-day moving average. A lot of people like to buy on such activity. We're not adding anything right now. We may have to reload this. I'm just going to stop our share here. Pause. So we're back. Just got to pull up Celsius Holdings. We bought at right around 57. And I guess on this, take a look here, it was on this pocket pivot right here, 57 option, and we converted those, and then we rolled the other 57 to 61, and we're just kind of holding out, and we'll exercise those as well, and Celsius just keeps on rolling. Take a look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA continues to move on up. It's up a little over 3% today. Here's our housing IPO stock. Had a nice little pullback to around 30 and is bouncing today. Looks like, I'm not sure if we got a gap up, but it's up a little over 3.9%. Here's a app. Once again, we bought this at about 45 on the options. Continues to do well. Got a big gap up and has held that gap and just continues higher. This is a small semiconductor stock we bought. Kind of bounced around, had a big move here, 2-day pullback, and now is bouncing again. It's up 6.5%. We bought the $5 calls on this one. And then we'll look at a couple of losers. They had pretty good earnings, but they're still kind of suffering. Zscaler, we had closed all the options that we had above the 50-day moving average. We do still have the $205 options open, so we'll see if over time they're in options in the first week of April. So we'll see over time if it can recover. And the other one is ESTC. We have the $105 option. So we'll see if this one can hit a bottom and start recovering. And finally, we'll close out with a positive. Monday, Israeli software company had a big pullback yesterday, and now it's bouncing today. It's like it's gapping up, and then it's near the high, a little over 3%. And we have an option on that. The option is 220, 230 call. So that's our show for today. This is Mornings with Michael. The Fed had a report that they're not going to rush to lower interest rates. And they had a couple of big portfolio managers, institutional type managers who said they don't think this resembles the 2000 market where everything's were overheated. So don't think it's in a bubble. Thinks stocks still have room to run. So that's kind of the story for the day. Thank you for joining. Remember, Mornings with Michael is for information and educational purposes only. It's up to you to do your own due diligence. Continue to go out there and work on your goals and your activities. You'll surprise yourself and others. And if we can help you with any of your financial goals or activities, please reach out to us. In the meantime, have a great Wednesday, and we'll see you tomorrow on Happy Thursday.